Hi, so we all seem to have a little extra time in our hands, and maybe we're doing more time thinking, more time praying. I know I'm doing a little more time thinking about stuff, and I had some thoughts, and I just wanted to get them off my chest. My kids say I got the ADHD. I think stuff just comes in, jumps into my mind, and I just blurt it out sometimes. It's not always what I say, or it might be when I say it is not the right time. But so, anyway, you all know, most of us know by now, someone who's been affected by the COVID, either someone who knows someone who has died um, from it. So I do too. I did too. And for those two people that I had heard that had the illness and then subsequently died, I prayed for them because that's what we do, what Catholics do. We pray for a speedy trip out of purgatory. Although it's said those that are in purgatory wouldn't want to get out a minute before they're properly disposed to be in the presence of God. And when it comes to prayer, they say those people in heaven don't need our prayers. Those people in hell aren't going to benefit from them anyway. But those people in purgatory, those are the ones who obviously the prayer is for. And as the Bible says, be perfect as your Father is perfect. Are you? Am I? I'm definitely not. If you died right now, where would you go? Can you depend on claiming Christ as your personal Lord and Savior? What Bible verse is that again? It's not. It's not in the Bible. Hence the need for purgatory. There's a lot more to be said for that. But anyway, then also, that said, prayers never go to waste. So, as always, we never know what's in the heart of a man or woman when they pass. Uh, I like to say only the Baptists know who's going to heaven. Bazinga. Anyway, but now on a more serious note, and again, I'm calling this a theological stand-up, so we're going to go all over the place. Um, I now personally have lost my aunt, who was 87 years old, and I apologize to her direct family if this is too soon. Um, I hadn't seen her as much as I should have. I love all my aunts and uncles. I love my family. My father had a pool, and he used to, on the 4th of July, have get-togethers, and all my family would get together, and I love that time. I love my cousins, so I'm gonna pray for my aunt. It's all I can do at this point. Um, just to note, God doesn't cause evil. He doesn't cause bad things to happen. We actually did that. But he allows them to happen with the promise that he's going to bring something good out of it. And it doesn't always come in our time, but it does come in his time. So in these times, remember that something good is going to happen or come out of these things. We may never know it. But we continue to live, we work, we love, we care for our family members. We see beauty wherever we can see it. We listen to music, we read a book, we look at nature, we look at art, watch a movie. We laugh when we can. I hope laughter is a medicine. I always feel good when I laugh. I don't know. I don't know if this is too soon. It probably is. But again, some thoughts about the pandemic. My son and I do landscaping, and we went, and I had this thought. Here we are. We're essential. Who would have thought landscaping was essential? Who would have thought that? Someone who digs in the earth. From someone who digs in the earth to being someone essential. The pandemic has moved me up in the caste system. So we were working at lunch, and we went up to sub shop, and I was able to park right in the front. So there's a immediate good of the pandemic. No, I'm the worst trailer driver, so I have to usually park at the back of the parking lot. We take this long trek, and when it's hot in the summer, we're walking on that pavement in 95 degrees. It seems brutal, but now I'm able to park right in front. Again, I'm the worst trailer driver in my state, I'm pretty sure. When I first got the trailer, we were working to get in a circle, and I was trying to get out. So I swing around the circle, but I can't get out because there were cars parked. So I ended up pulling in someone's driveway. And I'm backing out and backing out. Now I'm on the guy's lawn. I've dug a rut in his lawn. Finally, I give up, and I said, unload the darn trailer, take the stuff off. We picked up the trailer, rolled it back, and I hooked it up. Meanwhile, I'm doing that. There's this other crew coming down into the circle, these Latino guys, and they just pull around, whip around through the circle, and get out. And I know that they looked over at me and just kind of said, what the heck is wrong with the gringo? So anyway, there we were parked in front of able to get parking space. Thank you, pandemic. And what about tattoos? Everyone's got one. Tattoos used to be edgy. They were for sailors and bikers. Now your grandma's got one. Listen, if your grandma's got something, it's no longer cool. So stop it with the tattoos. And TikTok. What about TikTok? These teens, there are teens in my area, I heard, who have 2 million people watching them do stuff. Look, pouring Cheerios, milking it, and eating it, that is not a skill set. But, more power to the teens these days. It's become a new world even before the pandemic started. And speaking of nurses, I read in the paper about nurse midwives. This was fascinating, who traveled on horseback in the Appalachians, in Appalachian, Kentucky, in the 1920s and 30s. And I watched this video. I looked it up. Look it up. It's called The Forgotten Frontier. It's like 1931. It's a silent movie, so it's kind of slow. And they'll have captions, and you're reading it. And I will say one thing about this texting in our generation now. I think it's made us much faster readers, because when they put up like 2 sentences, they leave it on for what seems like 30 seconds. You're reading it and going, okay, come on, let's go. But it was an awesome movie. Now, those nurses were tremendous. And now I will say, now that's a skill set. That's a skill set. So look that up, the Frontier, The Forgotten Frontier. So I was in a room the other day in the kitchen where I couldn't get away from overhearing someone playing the Reddit. That guy? You know what I mean? This guy is so annoying, and he goes on. You probably know, if you've heard Reddit, this one guy, and he's always reading these stories, and the people that come into the story are always like, you can't believe, are these real people? Like, could people be so oblivious and so nasty? I mean, anyway, I don't know. What's that deal about Karen? There's something in Karen and TikTok. I mean, he's always picking on somebody. It's always somebody in those readings. But anyway, yeah, so Reddit. I caught something the other day, and I was something about eating Tide Pods and snorting condoms. Now, that's what I heard. Eating Tide Pods and snorting condoms. It turns out it was Tide Pods, not Tide Pods, which is something totally different. Totally different. I'm thinking Thai stick, so I didn't, and I thought, wow, today's youth really are different from the way we were. But please, for all the nurses, the frontline people, the food people, the grocery workers, heck, everybody in this world today, we're all being affected by this pandemic. So just pray for them. No matter what you think about God, yay or nay, it can't hurt. As I said, prayers can't hurt. And in the world, we need all the help we can get today. And so I come to close with toilet paper. Specifically, cheap toilet paper. I've done some observations, and while granted, cheap toilet paper is better than no toilet paper, but, and this is a big but, I hate cheap toilet paper. I get it, but I buy Charmin, and not only Charmin, but the soft version, not the strong version. I come from a long line, a family of tender butts. So informally, this is not scientific. I've done some research. 6 sheets of cheap paper equals one sheet of Charmin. Now, I'm not good at math, but that equates to like 24 cheapies for one, to do one, to get the job done. Like 24 sheets of that stuff to get the job done. Now, just trying to use just 6 sheets of your cheaper variety paper. I mean, that stuff literally disappears. It vanishes. So I noticed. So yeah, that cheap toilet paper. Wow. Wait, did you know? Did you know that there's a red knife in the top of the Nutella jar? With this spare time, I saw this video, and this guy, he opens it up, and if you open up the lid, and he had a hard time getting it out, but if you can get it out, you'll find, I never knew this, there's a red knife in the top of the Nutella thing, little plastic knife. So if you pop it open, take a look. So anyway, cheap toilet paper. Look, at the beginning of the roll, they delineate the lines, right? Is that the word, delineate? They're like marked off the little pieces of paper, right? But by the time you get to the middle, they don't mark it off anymore. They don't even care. The company doesn't even care anymore. They probably think you don't even notice, but I noticed because this cheap paper is new to me. So I know you're buying cheap paper anyway. It may be that way to get us to use more because we can no longer count. We're no longer, once you get in the middle, you're probably just, pulling tons of paper off because you're saying this is just crazy, to get the job done. So it's a scam. I'm telling you, it's a scam. Well, you get what you pay for. And I did the math. I guess it all works out in the end. All works out in the end. Okay. Anyway, so love deeper, skydive, ride a Bowman named Fu Manchu, laugh what you can when you can, cry when you have to, and pray. I'll be here all week. Literally, I can't go anywhere. I'll be here all week. So when the time comes, remember, tip your waiters and waitresses. Good night, Seattle.